At 82 years old, I've learned a lot about life. I've had moments of joy, loss, love, and regret. But there's one decision that still weighs on my heart: the day I moved into a nursing home. At the time, it seemed like the right choice. My family thought it would keep me safe, that I'd get care, comfort, and peace of mind. They promised I'd be surrounded by people who cared, and I wanted to believe that. So I said yes. But soon after I arrived, I realized the truth. It wasn't what I expected. If you're considering a nursing home for yourself or someone you love, please listen carefully, because there are 6 things I wish someone had told me before I made that move. 6 lessons that changed everything I thought I knew about aging, freedom, and the meaning of home. Stay with me until the end, because what I learned might surprise you, and it might help you make the most important decision of your life. 1. Losing my independence. The hardest part wasn't the small room, the bland meals, or the endless routine. It was the moment I realized my time no longer belonged to me. Before moving here, my days were mine. I chose when to wake up, when to eat, and how to spend my afternoons. If I wanted to walk outside, I did. If I wanted to cook or read quietly in my favorite chair, I could, freely. But in the nursing home, everything followed a schedule. Breakfast was served whether you were hungry or not. Lights went out whether you were ready or not. Even going for a short walk meant waiting for permission and hoping someone was available to help. Simple choices, what to eat, what to wear, when to rest, stopped feeling like choices and started feeling like privileges. I remember one morning in my first week here. I woke up early, stretched, and reached for the book I used to read at home. But when I looked around, I realized nothing felt familiar anymore. The books, the chair, the smell of my own coffee. Gone. All replaced by white walls and furniture that wasn't mine. That's when it hit me. This wasn't my life anymore. It was someone else's routine that I was just living inside of. And once you give up control, getting it back isn't easy. If you're thinking about moving into a nursing home, ask yourself, are you ready to surrender the small freedoms that make life feel like yours? Because once they're gone, you'll miss them more than you ever imagined. 2. Feeling forgotten. One of the hardest things to accept is that life outside keeps going without you. When I first arrived, my family promised to visit often, and for a while they did. My daughter came every week, my grandkids on weekends. We laughed, shared stories, and for a time, it felt like nothing had changed. But slowly the visits became less frequent. Calls replaced visits. Then even those grew shorter. A quick, "How are you?" before they had to run. Holidays were the toughest. Everyone planned to come, but something always came up at the last minute. And so I'd sit by the window watching cars go by, hoping one would stop for me. It's not that my family stopped loving me. Life just got busy. And when you're not around every day, it's easy for people to forget you're still waiting. I remember one evening, I held my phone for nearly an hour, wondering if I should call my son. But I didn't want to be a burden, so I put the phone down. And that silence felt heavier than I can describe. That's when I realized, and this is what loneliness feels like. Not being unloved, just being forgotten. If you're thinking about a nursing home, ask yourself, are you ready for that quiet? Because even when people love you deeply, distance can make you invisible faster than you think. 3. Losing my sense of purpose. Before moving here, I thought I was only changing where I lived, but I was also changing why I lived. At home, I had things to care for, plants to water, coffee to make, a house to keep tidy, and little hobbies to fill my time. Those small routines gave my days meaning. Here, everything was done for me. Meals appeared on schedule. The laundry was taken care of. The floors were cleaned before I could even notice they were dirty. At first, it felt relaxing, but soon every day started to blend into the next. I woke up with nothing to do and nowhere to go. I saw it in others too. People who once had spark and energy now sat in silence, staring at the clock. There was a man named George, a carpenter his whole life. At home, he'd always be building something, fixing something, always moving. Here he had no tools, no projects. His strong hands stayed still for the first time in decades. "I don't feel useful anymore," he told me once. And I understood exactly what he meant. Because when you stop having a reason to get up, life starts to lose its color. If you're considering a nursing home, remember, staying busy isn't the same as having purpose. Find something, anything that keeps your spirit alive. 4. Declining health faster than expected. Before I moved in, I was doing all right. I wasn't running races, but I could cook, walk, and take care of myself. But once I was here, life became too easy, and that's not always a good thing. Meals were delivered. Help was always one button away. And slowly I stopped doing things for myself. At first it felt like comfort, but the less I moved, the weaker I got. Standing up started to hurt. My knees stiffened, and my energy disappeared faster than I could have imagined. I saw it happen all around me. People arrived walking proudly on their own, and months later, they were using wheelchairs. There was a woman named Alice, 81 and full of energy when she came. She swore she'd walk every day, that she'd never slow down, but over time she did. Then came the walker, then the chair. One afternoon she told me, "I don't know when it happened, but I feel like I aged 10 years in 3 months. And she was right. When you stop using your body, you start to lose it. And in a place where everything is done for you, it's easy to forget that movement is survival. If I could go back, I'd fight harder to keep moving, to stay strong even when it hurt. Because once you stop, getting back up isn't as easy as you think. 5. Losing privacy and dignity. At home, I had privacy. I had space to be myself, to shut my door, take a breath, and live quietly on my own terms. In the nursing home, privacy became a privilege. Staff walked in and out for checkups, sometimes without waiting for an answer. You're never fully alone. Even dressing or using the bathroom can require help. And though I know they're doing their job, it's still hard to accept. It's even harder when you share a room. Not everyone gets lucky with a good roommate. I've seen people forced to live beside someone who snores loudly, argues, or simply doesn't understand them. No matter how many photos you hang or blankets you bring, it never truly feels like your room. And slowly, your dignity starts to fade. When people talk to you like a patient instead of a person, when your daily choices are decided by a schedule, you start to feel smaller, like your life belongs to someone else. That's something I wish I'd understood sooner, because dignity isn't taken all at once. It slips away piece by piece. 6. Leaving is harder than you think. When I first moved in, I told myself it was temporary. If I don't like it, I said, I can always go home. But that wasn't the truth. After a few months, my old house felt foreign. It sat empty. My children had started selling or renting things I no longer used. And physically, I wasn't the same. Without daily movement or responsibility, I wasn't strong enough to manage on my own anymore. I met others who felt the same. They thought they were just trying it out. But the longer they stayed, the harder it became to leave. Some had no homes left to return to. Others couldn't afford to move out. For many, this place became their entire world, a world they never planned to stay in forever. No one told us how final it feels. Moving in seems like a small step, but for most of us, it's a step that's hard to undo. Final reflections. Looking back, I don't regret growing old, but I do regret believing the nursing home was my only option. I came here expecting comfort, safety, and care. What I found was a world that slowly took away my freedom, my purpose, and parts of who I used to be. That doesn't mean all nursing homes are bad. Some people truly need them. But before you decide, ask yourself what you're giving up. Because once you move in, life won't ever feel quite the same. If I could do it again, I'd fight harder to stay in my own home, to find help without losing control, to make sure I truly needed to be here before making it permanent. And if you're facing this choice, pause. Ask yourself if it's really the best thing for you or just the easiest, because your independence, your comfort, and your peace are worth protecting for as long as you can. Thank you for listening. If my story touched you, please leave a comment and share your thoughts. Your voice matters, and your support helps keep stories like this alive. Take care of yourself. And remember, home isn't just a place, it's the freedom to live life on your own terms.